Come on in, come on in, come on in, say hello, come on in, say hello. Hi, everybody. Hello, Alan Gal. How are you? It's been a minute there. How have you been? Hello, Miss Nilechi. How are you? Elena, truly blessed. Welcome in. Good night. Good evening to you as well. My day was fine. How about yours? Hello, Mr. Ernest. How are you? Good evening, Miss Nilechi. How are you? Welcome in, everybody, and say hello when you come on. Hi, Miss Mazella. How are you? How's the family? Everyone, hello, hello, hello. School has you busy. I can imagine. It will pay off by the end of it. It's been a minute too. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining. Hello, Miss Peggy. I love you and you. I love biodiamonds. How's your end? Hi, everyone. Welcome. Hello, Facebook and TikTok and YouTube on the laptop. Hi, TikTok family. What's going on, people? Hi, everyone. Come on in. Say hello. Hi, Miss Peggy. Hi, everybody. Can y'all believe it's Thursday? Like the week is, it's before you know it's Thanksgiving. Before you know it's Christmas. Before you know it's January 2025. God willing. Yeah. We'll how are y'all doing? I like that. Anyway, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are just joining us for the first time, like you're scrolling on social media, is like, what is he talking about? Who the heck is this? Just hold on and let's meet us and stay with us and you know have a feel for yourself. I'm sure you'll be back. But this is Attorney Abisala Adepola Olale, immigration attorney based in Alabama. Represent. It is cold in Alabama as well. I don't know. I think on Tuesday it was in the 80s or something, and yesterday and yeah, Tuesday was the day my son decided to freeze up the whole house and run my electricity bill. But it was we're in the 80s, and then today it was like, what the heck is going on? But anyway, and this is Attorney Amisolade, immigration attorney based in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. Hey, Lord and King Stargazer, how are you? If so, people always ask, Cecilia, but let's contact him, attend the interview to my schedule interview for me. Most in the when you're Alabama, it doesn't matter what state you live in. If you live in Alaska, I don't know why you will, but unless you like to be frozen, really doesn't matter. Immigration is federal practice, so that means I can represent immigration clients in all 50 states. So we'll be glad to represent you in your immigration matters. Alalayalawfirm.com, 334-341-4475. Gas is getting cold. It's going to be a cold winter. It's looking like it. Because this morning I was like, am I literally thinking about wearing boots? I was like, but I was like, throughout the whole day in the office, like, I should have. Should have. But anyway, follow, like, share, subscribe at Olale Immigration on all platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We'll be more than happy to help you out. Hello, finest Shandy. And yeah, go to bed early this night. That's good. Good to be here. Always good to have you. At Olale Immigration. Hello, Mr. Sanctuary. On all platforms at Olale Immigration. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, we're trying to build that. We would very much appreciate that. And so it's been a very busy week. Thank you, Jesus. Knock on wood. I had court on Tuesday, had court, yeah, because I do criminal defense as well. Like, y'all, I'm in those fields where you're always fighting. Back to them when she's single. I'm not kidding, because I'm sure, because I've been in a handful of dates. I'm sure that people like, because she argues so much. Like that, when you argue for a living, nobody wants to deal with that, I think. I think that's so scary. But anyway, yes, I do criminal defense. So we had court Tuesday, Wednesday, I didn't have court today, but I had to. When I tell people that I go to visit clients in jail, there's like, huh? Yeah. Because if you do criminal defense, you're going to have people who get locked up. That's what it is. So I spent the morning in jail, but not like, well, that didn't come out right. Visiting clients in jail. so it's been a week full of court criminal cases. Like how you never know what you say next. Listen, you gotta keep things interesting. Even my kids are like, what? Yeah. But anyway, good evening, Miss Abena. How are you? Welcome in, welcome in. So tonight we are going to tackle your questions. If you've got an immigration question, please put it in the comment section. Do not come back and say, Sile, down question. No, Sile, I'm going to free question during the live. No, this is it. Put it in the comment section. Please do not repeat questions. Please do not repeat questions. It just makes it a lot easier when we're able to go through all the questions. Yeah, ground rules, respect each other, no negative comments, language or insults, you will be automatically blocked. Don't repeat your questions and put your questions in the comment section rather than the comment box. Yes. So please put your questions in the comment section. I will try it. So every third live, I try to go third or fourth and try to do questions so that we can talk. Because, if you call my office, you're going to have to set up a paid consultation. This is free consultation. And truth be told, sometimes most people who say, I just have one question. I said, I just want, no, it's usually never one. They ask a question like, okay, real quick, no. But truly, there are some people that all they have is just one question they want to clarify. So that's why I try to do this. So if it's just that one question, disclaimer, that's not legal advice for your case. It's not telling you to do anything. It's just trying to give you general information. Poor connection. Why is it? Do you guys lose me on Instagram? Can somebody tell me if you lost me on Instagram? It says poor connection. Reconnected. Like you don't. With all the money Xfinity gets from me, you will think. Did you guys lose me on Instagram? Yes, no? Hopefully not. But anyway, so put your comments in the comment section. I'll try to get to everything. So we try to do this every third, fourth live and tackle all things immigration. I love immigration work. I love criminal defense. I do divorces as well. Hello, feminist speeches. Okay, good. All the areas of practice that I'm involved in, just adversarial. I don't know. I'm not. And funny thing is, a lot of people don't know this about me. I'm very introverted. I'm sure it's a shocker. Like you, what? I'm very introverted. My oldest kid is home for her fall break. My first love. He's very much like me. Now he is extremely introverted, like it's another level, SJ. But he got that from me. We SJ and I could be home and nobody would know what home. Now TJ on the other hand is his father's child, like social butterfly. So a lot of people don't know about me. So I think when they see that I do very, very litigious areas or practices, like what? Yeah. That's when I get my adrenaline rush, and then I come back home and it's like, don't call me, don't ask of me, don't bug me, just leave me the hell alone. Comment section is just where it is. Exactly where you just where you ask the question, where the comment section. I'm telling you, a lot of people are going to be surprised. Like I'm very introverted. Ask my mom; she'll tell you. Now I can argue with a door, I can argue with a wall. I don't back, even no pushover, but I'd rather I do confrontational work, but I don't like confrontations in my personal life. Like I would block you or walk away. Like don't even bring it. I don't do drama. I don't do drama. I may look like it, but I don't. I don't. But anyway, so I'm just waiting. Let's populate this question so we can go around. Yeah. I talk for a living, but when I'm not working, I'm hardly on the phone with anybody besides my mama. My siblings, I text my siblings really because I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't talk to anyone. Well, besides my mom and my kids. So yeah. But anyway, all right. So let's see. Bring on the questions. Bring on your questions. Let's tackle them. Okay. So hello, Mr. Kubina. How are you? Julius. That was my dad's name. Julius Aguirre. When I tell people that I'm half Delta, they're like, Nibo. Well, that was my dad's legal name. Julius Aguirre. Julius Aguirre. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Taiwo Samuel Odaji Wadi. Yeah, it's a lot of congested tonight. Taking to and trying hard not to choke. Sorry, I'm telling you, the things you find out about this like, yeah. Listen, I'm from Ondo State, but truth be told, if you're really claiming where you're supposed to be from, my paternal grandfather was 100% Urban man. So my maiden name would have been Odaji Wadi Odaji. But don't ask me how I ended up with Samuel. It's a lot easier. Life is a lot simpler than that. But anyway, okay, so let's get started. Once again, if you need a more comprehensive evaluation of your questions, of your case, we'll be glad to help you with that. You can contact our office 334-341-4475. Schedule a consultation. I do virtual consultations. Even if you're in Alabama, I'm just not doing in person. It's a lot easier to plan my schedule and get more productive that way. So we'll be glad to help you with that. But if you got one or two questions that we can answer here, please do go ahead and put that on. Okay, so I'm doing very well. I hope you. All I can say is Jehovah bless you. You as well. Thank you. I love this work. It gives me a lot of joy. Find a shiny young two places. Up here, really. Yeah, Miss Nilechi, I'm actually have the but yeah. So my paternal grandmother was the one who was from Ondo State. And so when his father passed away, my dad changed his last name to his father's first name, which is Samuel, and then changed his state of origin from then Bendel State to Ondo State. So there you go. And one of my middle names is Ogena. Don't call me that because it ain't going to be funny. So just leave it alone. But there you have it. Living without PCOS. Yes, go ahead and put your question there. So that's what we're doing tonight. And please, thank you, Finance Channel. Do not repeat questions. It makes it a lot easier. The more they know. Hello, Miss Alquilua. How are you? I see that Finance Channel on Facebook and Instagram. Is she going? Okay, let's see. When does NBC approve your green card when they request for your medicals? There's no set time. So keep in mind, Ms. Akubina, we just literally sent it like 2 days ago. So, but there's no set time. It could be 30 days. It could be 60 days. It could be 6 months. It could be 2 weeks, so we'll just wait to see. So, I believe we sent you the tracking information, right? Can you confirm? I think we did. That's almost like clockwork for us. Once we send something that you always get tracking information, so you can track your case and see when it's delivered to USCIS. I believe we did. I'm almost positive that we did. Okay. Can I get EAD based on pending vow if I'm in removal proceedings or order? You've asked me that question several times. You and I have had a consultation. I've told you the answer. I'm not really sure what else you want me to say. The answer is not going to change. So you have that answer even in an email to you. Much love back to you, Finance Shandy. Hello, Miss Merther. How are you? It was delivered to I didn't even check. So see? That's why we give our clients the tracking information. You get a copy of your file, always clockwork. You get a copy of the tracking information. Everything we send to USCI is always sent with tracking information. So UPS, FedEx, USPS, it has to be. I have too much OCD not to know that something has been delivered to them. So, okay, sending hugs right back at you, Ms. Merther. And yes, if you're just joining us, let us know where you're joining from. We go live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone, and everywhere else, I don't know. Ask Google. Please share with your friends and family. You never know. You really, truly never know. Deliver to them today. Okay, perfect. All right. So we just wait and see, Mr. Kobina. Yeah, we'll wait and see. That just based on like the experience in my firm, we've seen as little as 2 weeks and as long as 6 months. It just really depends. Hopefully, it's not going to take that long for your case. So we will be in. We already know that we'll let you know as soon as that is done. Okay. I applied for that since May 2022. When do you think I'll get a decision? That is taking 40 and a half months. So calculate 40 and a half months from there. Just to put things in perspective, Miss S, so happy for her. Her VAC is got approved. Funny thing is, and I think Miss Eleanor Sanctuary, we had that same thing where they sent like 200 million work permits because we had filed. We filed the VAC is actually 3 months to the day of 3 years to the day when we submitted Miss S's VAL case in October 2021 is when they approved her VAL petition. And when we filed that, we checked on page 14 of the form that upon approval issue implement authorization. And just for the sake of it, I always send VAL cases. If you already have a C9, I will send a C31 request as long as the person already has a C9. So whenever we do that and the VAL gets approved, one E80 comes with a VAL petition with the VAL case number, and then another E80 comes with the C31 that was filed separately. And so the client is just swimming in E80s all over. I have all CC lawyers. I never read that. All CC lawyers emails from November 2021. I don't delete them even as I'm green card in it. Thank you. 3 years. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Thank you. Yeah. So congratulations to Miss S. It's a long time. It is. If you're going to do a VAL case, you have to prepare your mind that you're going to have to wait. There's just no way around that. Now, I've had a VAL case approved in 5 months. And the funny thing about that particular case is that it wasn't an expedited request. I don't question things like that. I just live in God knows best. Listen, filed in March of 2023, approved August 2023. And I've had, a couple approved in 14 months. There's another 18 months. It just depends. Majority of it, however, you're going to wait at least 3 years, 3.5 years, 4 years. Yeah. Okay. If you filled in your DS-160 that you filed for a divorce from your spouse and it's from a customary court, will there be a problem if I use an affidavit instead of the customary court document? There shouldn't be any problem. That's what I always sing, quote unquote, sing all the time. I don't care to use a customary court decree because what I'm seeing now is USCIS is verifying divorce documents from customary courts. And I'm not even kidding y'all. I literally have an RFP case that we've responded. We're just waiting on the decision where this guy submitted. He represented himself in this VAR case. USCIS, and in the VAR case, let me charge my laptop here. Give me 1 second. Okay, so in the VAR case, he submitted a customary court decree from Ondo State, and they went above and beyond. And I saw the customary court, and I was like, why? Because they it was like 200 million pages. It's recorded in page Kinika, and then let's see Ondo State as no one expected. I want to also listen. The USCIS sent people from their embassy. Okay, go help us verify. Guess what? They couldn't verify anything on page 200 or whatever that the guy said it was. When they sent the RFE to him, part of what USCIS said in the RFE is, we sent, we sent agents yada to go check and verify. They could not verify it, so we've made a conclusion that this document is fraudulent. Then they went ahead to say, we don't understand why the petitioner will go to the length of submitting a document that is not genuine for a customary divorce, when all he could have done, this is verbatim, all you could have submitted, when an affidavit will suffice as proof of your customary marriage termination from USCIS themselves. From USCIS themselves. So my point in that is, they know that you do not have to go. So high court, a statutory divorce is, you don't have a choice. You have to either get a divorce decree from the high court or get a divorce here. Non-civil marriages, meaning Islamic marriages, traditional marriages, why look, if you ain't broke, don't fix it. Why look for trouble when trouble is just minding its own business? I leave by affidavits. I don't bother, especially when someone tells me, hey, this is like a customary marriage emotion. Well, how do we prove that it was terminated? Leave that to me. So and I always tell people that if USCIS tells you you can't use an affidavit as proof of your termination of your customary marriage, please come back. So come to my law firm, because those are the kind of cases I love to go take them to school and say, haha. Sit, have several seats. Let me teach you something that you may not have, or maybe you missed it when they trained you. So that is it. Yeah. Oh, you watched that video. I think it was as your past caught up with you. Yes, because a lot of people don't understand that, and that's one thing that becomes an issue where you not find yourself having to file a waiver. People don't understand that whatever information you put in your non-immigrant visa application, your DS-160, it doesn't disappear. It may be 200 years ago. USCIS has access to it. So if you indicated that you are not married, or married, whatever the case may be, and then you come to the US and say you're not married, they're going to pull up your record and say, oh, by the way, not only did you say you're married, you give us a full name of your spouse and what they were living. So how come now you're filing something saying you were never married and you already? So you've got to know what you indicated in your information back then, so you can compare it. So yeah, that was the whole thing about that. So that's what I would do. But I would, just a caution, I would say, if you don't have a lawyer in your case, at the very least have a consultation with one, just so you're not going to mess things up for yourself. Hopefully you have a lawyer, but that's what I would suggest if you do not. Just and I hope that helps somebody, just not to make that error. All right, let's go to TikTok. Okay, let's see. Can you take on a valid case that's already been filed? I can, but I only would do that. I usually would have to do a FOIA request of your records first. I have to review your file before I decide whether I'm going to take over your case. How to get up the TPS phase now that I'm approved for green card or visa? You just don't renew it, that's all. There's nothing to get. You just don't renew when it's time to renew. I'm here on a J1 visa and I have a permanent contract. Can I get a visa that's going to keep me longer? Well, if you have a permanent contract, why are you looking for another visa? Permanent means you're going to be here for, I'm not sure what permanent visa contract you would have on a non-immigrant visa, because usually it's typically 5 years. So I'm not really following that. But if you're looking for a visa to keep you here longer, the first thing you want to make sure is that you're not subject to your home residency rule. Because if you are, then you've got to find a waiver first, and then sit down with a lawyer and figure out what you make. Because this is general information forum. If you need to be able to sit down with someone and tell them your background, what you are doing, what your qualifications are. Would you qualify for an employment self-petition? Are you dating something? There's a whole lot. Are you going to qualify for an H-1B? As you know, are you eligible to even change status to start with? That's something you sit down and ask a lawyer. I was denied green card based on the fact that immigration claimed my divorce is fake, but after what? After something. Let's see if you continue somewhere. Thank you. How old are you? Y'all just nosy as hell. What does my age have to do with anything that we're talking about? Most fortunate. I'm even trying to be. What does my age have to do with immigration? Just asking. That's a lot of names. Yeah, that's why they're not on. What can I say? Are you in Canada? No, I practice immigration in the United States. I sent in my request for medical. You mean you sent in your response to request for medical in May, and I haven't heard anything since? Is that bad? Is that a good or bad thing? There's nothing good or bad about it. You're just going to wait for them to make a decision. Got approved for I-765 and I-131. Do you think it's a? I don't know if it's going to be a combo card. You just have to wait. Can my new wife file for my kids when I have a pending I-751 based on divorce from another U.S. Citizen spouse? I don't see any reason why not, but I guess the question I have for you is, why didn't your previous spouse file for your kids? Just want to know about that. Why? Because you're even though you've got a 751 penny, you're a green card holder. But I would just want to be. I'll be interested in knowing why that didn't happen then. Rock Seal Store, thank you. Can I apply for citizenship now since election is approaching? I heard it's going to get approved faster. Well, I don't. Well, I won't say I don't think. Well, I don't. It's going to be hard to approve to apply now, and have your interview scheduled before the election. Election is under 3 weeks from now. Now, if you're trying to get everything resolved before the next president takes office, and that's different. But keep in mind, the election is what a little under 3 weeks. So, Wealthy Minds Empire Inc. joining from DC. Welcome. If lease is not in our name, what are the alternative documents used to prove cohabitation? Your mail, change of address, driver's license, credit card, bank statements to show transactions, not just just for show. What else? Affidavits, text messages, the list goes on. If someone applies for asylum and they want to withdraw, will it have an effect? Effect on what? Okay, I got denied. So Baba G, accepting divorce documents. What can you do? The first thing you want to do is to sit down with a lawyer. Let a lawyer evaluate what the documents. Because the fact that USCIS claims the documents were not genuine doesn't necessarily mean they're right. Because I've had in one or two cases where we push back and say no. The fact that someone is Nigerian doesn't mean every Nigerian is going to submit fraudulent documents. You just never know. So have that. But if it's something where it's just not, if you already know that that's the kind of paper, then you have to re-divorce your former spouse, and then if you're not in the common law states, then you're going to have to remarry the American spouse and then refile. My petition to remove conditions in the residence is now 115 days. Will I get any answers sooner? 115 days. That's very new. Will it affect if they want a different visa type? Be careful before you withdraw an asylum application. You don't ever want to be slapped with the allegation of filing something frivolous, because if they do that, it's going to prevent you from ever getting an immigration benefit. So when people want to withdraw asylum application, I always tell them make sure you have a reason, like maybe you've gotten married and you now have a green card, something to justify why you're withdrawing that application, not just because you feel like it. One, I-45 denied for unqualified joint sponsor. Should I refile or do an I-290B? Sit down with a lawyer to figure out what the best option is going to be for you. Keeping in mind you've got limited time to do an I-290B. Can someone that just lost their job recently petition for someone for I-485? You don't petition for someone for I-485. The intended immigrant files their I-485. So I'm not sure I'm understanding your question. Okay, was a rocky marriage, fighting all the time? Okay. Do I need a lawyer to apply for NIW as a PhD student in US? The fact that you have PhD, you're in a PhD student and have a master's degree does not mean you don't need a lawyer. Right now I'm not even taking any NIW cases. It's just I'm not really sure the analysis is like they just issuing RFEs even on really, really strong cases. So it's not just sufficient just because you're a PhD. There's more requirements to meet than just having an advanced degree. I haven't received a 60-day NVC notice. Is there a problem? I've been documentary qualified for 6 months now. US NVC is really backlogged, so you're not the only one. Do you think it's safe to travel on AP? I never give advice on travel unless you are my client. It's been 13 months since my green card was approved. I haven't received it. Have you contacted USCIS? Is they showing that it's missing? Do you have status that says we mail your card? What is the status? If you don't have anything, contact the ombudsman office. You can congressman and woman. If all else fails, sue them. Okay, you mean can someone that lost their job recently petition for someone? So if you are a citizen and you've qualified, there's not an I-130 petitioner is not required to have a job. What you're going to, however, need is, since you're not working, you're probably going to need a joint sponsor to file their own I-864 in addition to yours. So you can petition for your spouse. There's no requirement for you being employed. You're just going to need a joint sponsor to also step in when you submit your case. Okay, so let's my work authorization was lost. Does replacement give old expiration date or new expiration? Old one. It's going to reflect the same date for the one that was lost. Okay, let's go real quick and go to Instagram. All right, no worries. Hello, Mr. Dosumu. How are you? Filed a FOIA request, and USCIS says we have completed a search of yada yada yada. No records responsive to your request. We're located, despite that I'm in the US, and it depends on what you ask for. It depends on what specifically you ask for. And then if you have a pending I-140, is it a self petition? Was it filed on your behalf by an employer? It just really depends on what it is that you requested. It's what you requested is what they're going to search for. And so what you requested, if you don't have that, it's not going to come back with anything. Can you comment on abuse overseas versus abuse in the U.S., U.S. citizen spouse, and abuse abroad and continues in the U.S., legal entry, 5 years married with a son, wife abandoned marriage, adopt child, demanding money to us. So comment on what? What is your question? And I don't comment on cases. What is the question you're asking? All right, let's go to Instagram. Okay, let's see. I'm on prayer line and with my sister. Listen, God is never tired of hearing our prayers. It's 40 degrees here. I thought leaving New York would be better, but I'm still calling it. It's cold in the south. I'm not. I was surprised to wake up this morning. We were in the. I was heading to work. It was 39 degrees. I was like, what? Why? Who came from New York or Alaska to the south? Go back. TJ is fine. My baby is fine. We're full swing into basketball season. So, and then their basketball coach has the bright idea, very, very bright, genius idea, that they have to practice starting at 6:30 a.m. Oh, Lord Jesus, pray for me, because I don't want to cuss nobody out. Well, it's all good. Always tired after work these days. Don't work too hard. But America would do that to you. But what came was God is your strength. I'm looking at your nose. No, it's just shiny. That's what. Did you do your nose so straight? No, it's just shiny. That's why. Beautiful. That my present. This thing, I can't laugh. Oh Lord Jesus. When he came out with the questions, and he will ask his. Okay, it was frozen for a minute. Yeah, it says it was reconnecting. Yeah. Okay. Cannot travel outside the USA with an expired green card and an extension letter when the letter is expired in 4 months' time. As long as you're back before general information, disclaimer, I'm not telling you to go out and to travel, but generally, as long as you're back before the extension notice expires, then you should be fine. The main thing is it's more about the airline allowing you to board. Now, is it possible that you may encounter an airline that would, put their own policy and says it has to be valid for at least 6 months? It's possible. So if you know that, usually I tell my clients that if you're going to be, if your extension letter is going to be expiring anytime soon, don't find yourself to have less than 6 months on your extension. If that's the case, then now you can actually request an added stamp to be sent to you to send you an I-94 that'll be valid for a year, rather than risk that. How long does it take to get a response from the court if filing for a court case? Because my attorney refused to pick up my calls and texts, so he told me he had submitted my case but no receipt. You don't get a receipt when you file something with court. The court doesn't issue a receipt. So I'm not sure what you mean by no receipt. I mean, I don't know what kind of case you have in court. But if something has been filed with the court, for instance, there's so many court systems, like, if you're an attorney who practices with the immigration system, with the Executive Office of Immigration Review, that's basically immigration court. So many states now have online filing. So I love that, because once I file, within 24 hours, you would get confirmation email saying that your filing has been accepted. So I don't know if you're in a state where that's an option. If that's the case, then the attorney would have been sent an email with confirmation that it was properly filed. So you can talk to me. Well, I said they're not picking up. Somebody in the office has to be able to give you information about that. I didn't mean to make you joke, Mr. Sanctuary. Listen. No wonder, no people, no wonder I'm in love with you. My hobby is on Ekiti. Oh, Ekiti, really? So my ex-husband is from Ekiti State. Emphasis on X. Ekiti State. I'm telling you, that I call him Dr. Slime. He's a medical doctor. Well, TJ gave his that nickname, Dr. Slime. I think we talk every day. We probably talk more than we did when we were married. Isn't that how life is? Yeah, well, he's from Ekiti State. So, Ms. Peggy, be at the. Thank you so much. Is it advisable to use my Texas address on my divorce from previous marriage? I'm having to redo or use the, what is HI address I share with my husband. I'm in Texas more because of my children. Okay, let me read this again. I'm not understanding your question. Is it advisable to use my Texas address on my divorce from my previous marriage? I'm having to redo, okay, or use the something address I share with my husband. I'm in Texas more because of my children. Okay, I would assume that you are trying, you're going to be filing with your a marriage-based case with your husband once this redo divorce is over, right? And you intend to show USCIS that you're living together with your husband. So why would you use Texas address even if you're there with your kids? You're more there because so why not move there with your husband? You've got to make sure it makes sense to USCIS why you're not living with your spouse more than being somewhere else, especially if their father is also in Texas. So where are you living? Okay, I think you're living in Hawaii. Do you live in Hawaii? But that's what I would recommend though. That's cool. Okay, I don't start missing energy. Leave it alone. Can I marry when vow is approved but green card is pending? Yes, you can. One thing about Sister Lauren, she never forgets, and it's for the most part it's a blessing, but sometimes it's a problem because I don't forget anything. Some things I want to forget, but I don't. I have a case pending for 6 years. How long does it take again? What is 2, 6 years? Yasmin, what are you trying to say? Is it 2 years? Is it 6 years? What exactly is it? My I-45 was denied, claiming the marriage seemed like a sham, but 204C was not stated on the denial letter. Could USCI still have 204C in my file, even though they didn't specify it in my denial letter? They can. So what I would suggest, RTW, is if you've never done a FOIA request of your records, go ahead and do that. $200 million pages, yeah. Hey, my sweet sister-in-law is on. She's always working. Oh, by the way, that reminds me. Big shout out to my Lamide is. Oh, she probably sleeping. Is Eliana still awake? My baby girl, my mini me, and when I say mini me, she looks like. If I tell you guys that's my daughter, you would not doubt it. Eliana is 7 years old today, so y'all wish my baby girl. That's my niece. My favorite niece in the whole world. Yeah, I said I got favorites. What can I say? She's 7 years old today, and she looks just like me. She looks nothing like her mama. You would think that's my child. So happy birthday to my favorite niece. I married someone who overstayed their visa. What documentation should he carry while waiting on an adjustment of status? proof that he's got a pending case. So if you guys want something more specific to your case, then it's best to sit down with the lawyer to figure out what stage you're at and what will be best for him. Do you handle out of status after H-1B? Well, it depends on what you qualify for. He lost his passport. Has he gone to get? If you guys have a pending adjustment of status, has he gone to apply for a driver's license, state ID, something that would have some identification? I didn't ask Google for your age. I'm sure Google would know. Google will also have security questions. um, Hello, God's favorite. How are you? Well, ask Siri. That's a nice one. Siri, what's this lawyer's age? Immigration. Finance Shandy. Hello, nobody. Mr. Saying says Siri would answer, but try Siri fact. This girl is at something. I'm just going to ignore that because I'm going to be distracted. If you are given need more evidence, please, what is the meaning of that? What do you mean by if you're given need more evidence? Okay, so thank you. What does it mean when USCIS says a request for initial evidence was sent for I-485? That's exactly what it means, Mr. Lechi, that a request for initial evidence was sent. Something you should have sent in initially with your application is missing, or even if you sent it in, maybe it's not the right format or something. So just wait to see what it is. Are you serious? His name is Olale and today's his birthday. You gotta be kidding me. Today's my baby girl's birthday. It's Eliana. Oh, wait. Okay. Okay. So, yeah. You are welcome. Okay. Happy birthday to our favorite niece. Yes. And she's feisty like myself. I'm telling you, you would never believe she's not my biological child. Feisty as hell. How long will it take to change your status from asylum if you get married? A pending asylum is not a status. So you're just waiting for an interview to be done. Okay. All right. Let's see. After grant of asylum, cannot file for green card after 2 months. I will not advise that you do that, and here's why. It used to be that when you're granted asylum status, you had to wait for a year before you could file for your green card. USCIS changed the policy. I want to say sometime last year or the year before. Don't quote me on that, but most likely it was last year, where rather than waiting a whole year before you can file for asylum, as long as the new policy is now, as long as you've been physically present in the United States for at least a year since your asylum status was granted, before USCIS can approve your I-485. So that means you're just going to have to figure out the math and see what's the average amount of time that it's taking them to approve asylum-based green cards, and then based on that. So to be on the safe side, I tell people just wait at least about 6 months, so that you're giving yourself that time frame where even if it takes 46 months, you don't want, because if it's less than a year at the time they're about to make your a decision on your case, then they may deny it and you have to start all over again. So that's what I would say, that 2 months is rather really, I don't see how it's going to take them 10 months. Just to put things in perspective, the longest we've had for asylum-based green card application from when USCIS received the case to when it was approved in the last 2 years has been 7.5 months for my clients. So that's what I go by. I think that jumped. Oh, what did I? Uh-oh. Can't see. That was a big jump. Hold on. Okay, I've seen that. I've seen that. How long will it take for a son sponsor their mother? Anything about how long something's going to take, go on USCIS.gov/processing time. Do you help to file writ of mandamus for? No, I don't. I don't do lawsuits anymore. I used to, but I stopped. What is the right way to go if I-130 is approved and spouse decided to divorce me? What next? Well, if your petitioning spouse has decided to divorce you and your I-485 is still pending or not yet approved, you want to sit down with the lawyer to figure out what your best option will be. My I-130 was approved the day after my interview. Congratulations, but they needed medical. So what's your question? How much is your consultation fee? I always have to remember. Okay, 140, 30 minutes, 210, 45 minutes, 250, 1 hour. If you go to our website, it's right there. Very, very easy to schedule. I-130 for child outside U.S. approved, but principal applicant still pending. Can the child come in? If the child is a derivative beneficiary and not an immediate relative on their own, the derivative beneficiary cannot enter the United States before the principal beneficiary. Your Akudo for 2A category question, I would have answered it, but it's a very simple instruction. Don't repeat questions. So as soon as you repeat it, I'm going to skip it. If I'm not saying your question is because you put the question more than once, so that's the whole point of skipping it. So that's it. Okay, let's see. Received RFP to send in medical. Okay, so what's your question? Okay, all right, let's see what else is here. Is it true abuse overseas doesn't count except in the US for VA? If the abuse overseas can count if the person is in the military, meaning the abusive spouse is in the military, or working for a government, employed by the U.S. government, but deployed somewhere else. So that abuse will count. That's when abuse overseas will count for VA. And also, even if you're overseas, if the abuse also occurred, even though you may not be physically present in the United States, but if the abuse also occurred in the United States, you still qualify even if you're not physically present in the United States. Those are the situations where you can file if you're outside the United States. Okay. All righty. Okay. I think we went through. I did a sound 6 years ago, and I did interview, but that year, and still 6 years ago, and your interview was 6 years ago, and they haven't made a decision in your asylum case. It's time to file a lawsuit against USCIS. That doesn't make any sense. Why would you wait six years without doing anything? Yeah, you can go ahead and file a lawsuit against them. Then that will make them have to do that. Um, my brother's attorney, here we go, made a mistake on his EAD renewal form by putting his son's alien number as his. Should he file another I-765 form or wait till USCIS will correct the error? Your brother can actually ask them to file to withdraw that particular one based on error and then refile the EAD, the application. That's what I would suggest. Okay, I think we got to all questions. I think we did. All right, no more questions here. I will testify and share testimonies. I'm waiting on my own time. Amen. Amen. So shall it be. Thank you, Miss Ella Sanctuary. I'm standing up and waiting to see ourselves live on Instagram. I'm telling you. You're welcome, Busby. Okay. Is it possible to resubmit an application if USCIS did? I'm assuming you mean did not respond. What it depends on the application. I'm not sure what it is you want to respond. Can my permanent resident husband sponsor wife who is in the United States, have 4 kids as permanent resident? A permanent resident can sponsor a spouse. That's not the question, the issue. The question is, will that spouse be able to adjust their status in the U.S.? And that means that if you want to adjust your status in the United States, being married to your green card holder, then you must be in valid status up until you get your receipt notices from USCIS. And receipt notice, I mean you file be in valid status up until you file your I-485 and USCIS has received it. I usually tell people wait until you get a receipt notice from them before you're not out of status. But if you're already out of status as a green card holder spouse, you are going to have to wait until that spouse becomes a citizen. If not, you can get a green card in the country. All right, people, I guess that's it. That's all she wrote. I think we covered quite a number of questions. My mom is helping. Quite a number of questions. How long can I wait to be married after my case is being denied due to divorce discrepancies? It depends on the state you live in. So, I'll give an example. In my state in Alabama, if you get divorced, you cannot remarry for 60 days unless you're remarrying the person you just got divorced from. Some states don't have any waiting period, so it just depends on the state you have. Well, depends on your state. So that's the main thing to know what your state requirement is. All right, people. This is always refreshing, even no matter how tired. Like today's been a long day. Like I said, my whole morning was spent in the jail, visiting with clients because we have criminal term of court coming up next week. So, but I always look forward to this on Tuesdays and Thursdays because it's very therapeutic for me. It's just being able to talk to fellow immigrants and looking forward to new testimonies and people encouraging one another and just praying for one another and not giving up, because you just never know. Sometimes someone may be feeling like, okay, God has forgotten me. But it's impossible for God to forget those that He's spoken to existence. It's just that we have to learn to be patient and know that He hasn't forgotten about anyone. But when we come together like this, you just never know what you're going to say or what someone is going to read or hear that's going to really ignite the fire in them to just keep going and not to give up, right? So so I don't take it for granted that we come together and it's more like a gathering. It's a fellowship of positive minds and being able to agree in faith that whatever it is that everyone's waiting on, no matter how long it is, that God is able to meet each and every one of us at the point of our needs. And so I'm appreciative that we have the space to call our own. And no matter what happens next month with the election, we're believing and trusting that God's will be done. Or whatever happens, whoever God decides, is going to be, I know that regardless, it's not going to change what He has destined for each and every one of us. So just keep holding on, just keep believing. We will, so shall it be. So shall it be. Thank you, Miss Abena, Miss Peggy. We shall testify to the goodness of God. actually prayed for everyone. Thank you. So just saying, each and every time, it's just common practice for me that um, we send things out and whatever. There's no package that leaves my firm that doesn't have a prayer. Sometimes I'm sure USAID is like, can I see if you saw a package? Why is this thing shiny? Hey, anointing on me. Anointing on, because that's the most powerful weapon you can ever have. Prayer. That's the most power. That's all the weapon you need. Believing and knowing, sending it in faith, knowing that God is going to do that which He has promised. Um, I have a young couple. I think I talked about their case. They were very skeptical. They didn't even want to get married because they really don't have anything. But I was telling them the same thing I'm telling you now, that let's try it. If we don't try, we would not know what God has in store. If you don't take that leap of faith, you would never know what He has on the other side. And I told him, let's do it. You don't have much, but because God knows your heart, and I know I'm not talking to both of you, I know it's true, it's real. When we got the RFP, one of the things I said in the response to USAID was, well, if you guys still decide to set up a consultation, we're ready. And so we found the case was in November of last year, December. RFP was sent in. It was due October 7th. So I think I sent it in 2 days before. And his green card was approved on Sunday, which was his birthday, and yesterday the I-130 was approved. They were both shocked. But see, when God decides that He's going to make a huge miracle and testimony out of your situation, there's nothing anyone can do to change that. So let's just keep. Nothing surpasses the power of prayer. Yes. So when you believe and just put it at the altar of grace and leave the rest in God's hands. I tell myself that each and every day because we tend to worry. I'm a worrier. I'm a huge, but for the power of prayer, I would worry myself because I'm OCD. So if things don't go the way I think they should go, I start to get like anxiety. But when I settle down and I start to pray, this level of peace that you cannot really explain, that God just gives you. So I pray that that peace will continue to speak for each and every one of us, that peace will let our minds be at rest, knowing that He is more than able to complete that which He has started. You guys have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you next week.